You've been warned. Ugly men do not approach women.
I'm literally shaking right now because I just had a man approach me in a parking lot and it went fine. And I'm going to tell you why it went fine and how to address it, because it was in a book I read and this is how you're supposed to address it, but it scared me. I'm literally shaking. So this guy, I am alone with my son, by myself, a woman, and a male approached me in a parking lot. He's, "Excuse me, miss," and I don't know why in the hell he was approaching me or what he was trying to do. And before he was probably 30 feet from me when he said, "Excuse me, ma'am." And I turned around and I literally yelled at him and I said, "Do not approach me." And he immediately started going in the other direction. And I just kept saying it over and over and over. I said, "Do not approach me. Do not approach me." And he, of course, got "What the F?" He started cussing and yelling, "What's your problem?" And I looked at him and he actually then crossed a couple cars down from my car. He didn't come anywhere near me. He crossed a couple cars down from my car and was like, continuing to cuss and say, "What's your problem?" And I said, "You do not approach women in a parking lot." I just kept saying, "Do not approach me. You do not approach women in a parking lot," yelling it. No male should ever approach a woman in a parking lot, ever. No male should ever approach a woman in a parking lot. And if a male does approach you, you need to turn around and use the strongest voice that you can possibly use with them. Don't be polite. They need to literally screw off. No male should be approaching you in a parking lot.
This guy, Wheat Waffles, very, very funny guy. He be saying this shit that nobody else can say. He gives a whole breakdown about this concept. I was just seeing y'all's initial thoughts on that clip because the guy could have been, "You left your keys. Oh, you left your thing."
I mean, it could have been anything. It's just a person coming up to another person.
It wasn't like someone was following her and it wasn't a creeper and it wasn't he approached and was acting sketchy or anything of that nature, because I'm well aware of the kidnappers and the freaks and the kooks and the different ways people can be kidnapped, whatever. A guy said, "Excuse me, ma'am, don't fucking get near." Whoa.
I think she needs to download the Instacart app. They have that where she doesn't have to go into public with other people, and then they'll go shopping for you and then bring it to your door.
Before I go ahead and begin analysing this clip, I'm going to start this video with a quick analogy. Most of you will be familiar with the insects moths and butterflies. Moths are seen as ugly creatures, an annoyance, vermin, and are okay to exterminate. Whereas butterflies are seen as beautiful insects, colourful, pristine, and should be protected. Now, the reason I've brought this up is because these two insects at face value are extremely similar in terms of anatomy and life cycle. But the most striking difference is that one was blessed with beautiful colours, therefore seen as valuable, while the other was cursed with ugly colours, therefore seen as worthless. I could bet any money that the man who approached this woman was certainly a sub-5 ugly guy. And the reason I think this is because the way women treat ugly men and attractive men are literally light years apart from one another. For ugly men, women don't want to be associated at all. They see them as an embarrassment, lowering their social value, and at a worst case, dangerous. Whereas for attractive men, they are seen as safe, kind, and compassionate. Even studies show better looking people are treated better. This article from a women's magazine shows a study, on average, attractive male and female servers made about $1,200 more a year than unattractive servers.
Mostly
due to the disparity in women's tips. That's right, women are way more superficial than society wants you to believe.
It's almost like you can't even argue with that. Attractive people are treated better than ugly people. So, there are people that will dispute that, but it's one of those really unfortunate concepts that if you're a really unattractive person, what are you supposed to do?
Well, yeah, he was just trying to say you dropped something, or he wasn't able to say what he wanted to say because she instantly was just screaming at him to go away. But she wouldn't say that if Matt Rife came up to her or Mario Lopez.
No. Noah saw Mario Lopez at Walmart at the parking lot too.
Yeah, and I followed him to his car.
You'll even see it with different job hirings. Attractive people just get hired at all types of jobs more than unattractive people.
When somebody sits down there very attractive, they're like, I'm gonna hear what they have to say. And if they have, no skills, I'm sure they'll get booted off. But if they have the skills and they're attractive, it's like I'm gonna keep that one. You're gonna stay in somebody's mind.
So when people say like appearances don't matter or something like that, it's like sure, but like they do.
Places like Hooters, like why don't they hire just anyone?
Some of them I've been to recently.
I've been to Hooters.
That's all I'm gonna. Well, no, it was when I went home like a month ago, and I went to one. I said, hey, when I was 10, these girls looked. I don't know what happened here.
No, they took a steep decline. You got to go to Twin Peaks or something. No, they definitely got some.
Southern Maryland Hooters went down. That's all I'm saying.
I think they changed their values. It's more about the wings now.
Because that was the whole point, right? Like guys would just go there drinking, and they just want to talk. And you just linger there. And
I thought that was the thing.
That was the point.
That was the Hooters thing. You could even take pictures with them and stuff. A lot of businesses do that sort of idea now, where they'll hire an attractive person to be in the front, you know, for people to talk to them, give them more money, or the waitresses to more tips.
Yeah, at business conferences, meetings, receptionist desks, things like that. They'll put a cute girl or even just an attractive person in the place to like bring people in and hey, this is our company or whatever. It's true. People care about appearances.
I am extremely confident that he would have looked like this, a bottom 10%er in terms of appearance. Because if we hear some of her quotes, I am literally shaking right now because I just had a man approach me in the parking lot.
Like you said, if Matt Rife approached her in the parking lot, she's shaking but in a different way.
Yeah, it would be no issue.
If Matt Rife approached me or this guy approached me, yeah, I'm much more gonna be like, oh.
I'm gonna be on edge for this guy.
I'm gonna be on edge.
What you want?
It's not a male or female thing, it's a human thing. I'll be spooked out.
Also, if you're a girl and you're dressing up trying to make yourself look good, you would definitely want a guy that's also keeping up his looks, because you know their looks are very important too. But
why would she be shaking after just having a man approach her? I mean, I can tell you myself, as a non-ugly guy, this is not the kind of response you'd expect from women. I have 2 interview videos on my channel which both involved approaching countless women. I'd estimate about 100 total. And none of these resulted in getting shouted at or having the women shaking after the interaction. Instead, for the most part, even the ones who didn't want to participate would be respectful and politely decline, so we'd all carry on about our day. I was even thinking of getting my filming assistant to record me approaching the women, including the rejections, to show you how polite most people are if you walk up to them as an average or above average guy. But, going back to this woman, I find it unbelievable she had this rush of adrenaline, her fight or flight response kicking in, and felt a need to record a TikTok announcing to the world
that must have been scary looking.
Just for being
If she was really scared though, she would have left the parking lot and recorded that at home.
Yeah, what?
Like she's just still in the parking lot.
Which almost proves that there wasn't actual imminent danger. If I'm getting followed, I'm pulling out of the thing.
Well, it's not even like saying like she was getting followed and he looked weird or that. She just said he approached me.
He said, "Excuse me, miss."
Excuse me, miss.
Was it? That's all. That was it.
And she knows how people are gonna respond if she act.
Nah, real shit. If you were scared for your life and shaking, and it was some creepy, crazy shit, why did you pull out your thing and go to TikTok? And then
If you're in danger, your kid's in the back. If you're in danger, get out of there.
You heard the kid scream in the back, "Mama, why are you making another TikTok?"
Quote 2. He was probably 30 feet from me when he said, "Excuse me, ma'am." For those that missed, 30 feet. This is just shy of 10 meters, so he's left 2-3 car lengths of space before approaching her. More than enough room to not startle her. He also said "excuse me," which is as polite as you can get if you're going to walk up to a stranger. What it comes down to is, the man did nothing wrong. I repeat, the man did nothing wrong. And she would have never responded this way if a woman approached her, or an attractive man did. My point is, only ugly guys get this level of treatment from women.
That's pretty much it. If you're ugly and awkward, you're automatically branded as a creepy predator. Oh shit. Every woman says never judge a book by its cover, as the woman only dated men 6'5", perfect build, has money.
He must have been ugly. Like I'm just trying to imagine me being the guy, like saying "excuse me" to someone and like nicely and being yelled at. I would be appalled.
I've also noticed different instances of like when I approach people, let's say like when we're out filming and we're we're all like on a campus or something or whatever, you'll get a different mixed bag of responses from different types of people. Like if it's ever just like a girl, whatever, they do get very spooked. If like someone like, maybe I'm a sub 5, but
Maybe it's this day and age.
it's not normal to even go up to people anymore. So when you do go up to someone, they're startled. As opposed to back in the 50s, excuse me, miss. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, we're getting to a point where you can't really even approach people. So I guess just don't
Be ugly.
be ugly. Go, because even if you're not ugly, even then it's weird to.
There's so many different variables.
I actually like going out in public and like talking to random people, like even if it's just like that's a dope shirt.
Those like 1 minute conversations.
Just like anything, like in line, like say anything about anything because I just like talking. But for people to act like that, it's like, damn, it's like why it's a cold world. Like,
But people will say, don't judge a book by its cover. Looks don't really matter that much.
that's true.
But people don't practice what they preach. Those are things that sound nice rolling off the tongue.
Yeah, like people will tell like that guy or whatever, or they use some guy as an example. Don't worry about your looks. But ugly people who experience those things have to experience it for themselves, and they know. Like sometimes people wouldn't even know.
Yes.
I guess, unless you're in that position and experience things like someone yelling at you to get away.
I completely agree.
It sucks though, 'cause there's wheat waffles where if you're the ugly guy and you watch this ahead of time, you're like, oh shit, I won't do that. But then if you just see a girl on TikTok that's like, no, girls love it when you come up and compliment them, then you might, as the ugly guy, go experience that and you're like, oh, it didn't work. There's the people that say what they think sounds right on the internet and then it doesn't actually work in reality. But then how do you find the people that do the reality checks? So you know for actual reality.
And I would say most people wouldn't react like the way she did either.
That was an anomaly type of thing. That was rare. Most women don't really respond in that sort of manner, but depending on how ugly you are, you're gonna get
But they kind of do in a way, even if it's just like a, oh no, like it's still getting rejected.
I would argue that you would have to be like an 8 or above in terms of looks as a guy if you want to really have success going up to girls cold approaching. They won't get to know your personality if you don't look good. So there's a lot of people with a lot of great personalities, but you won't even get that far to show.
I thought people were judging us for doing the women rank men, but it's like they're allowed to get to know them because they're here on the set.
Exactly.
The guys that we learned later with their personalities that maybe you guys agree that they're better than somebody that's more attractive. It's like, well, they don't even get a chance in real life because the looks. That's how you started off.
Like for example, oh, just have confidence. If you're a guy, let's say you're not that attractive, just have confidence. Be funny. It's not all about looks, but it's like that's not true because if you don't look good, it don't matter if you're confident. You're gonna be spooked out. Look normal.